Hi, I'm Gunnar Wright, here to give you an overview of the all-new 2022 Honda CRF250R. I know this is a highly anticipated model for many of you, and we're excited to share a ton of info. We're going to cover the bike's features, talk about what's different compared to the previous generation, the benefits, info on its development, and more. First though, let's show you what it looks like.
New CRF250R. Lighter, faster, stronger.
Ready to help you find your edge.
That was so cool. The CRF250R is a significant model in Honda's dirt bike lineup, and it has built up a pretty impressive history over the years, achieving a number of milestones in terms of technology and racing. It debuted in 2004. 2 years after the CRF450R, Honda's first four-stroke motocrosser came on the scene. Generation 2 focused on refining vehicle packaging, and it covered the 2006 through 2009 model years. Honda introduced fuel injection to the CRF250R in 2010, and this generation lasted until 2013. Next up was the 2014 to 2017 generation. The current generation came out in 2018. And Chase Sexton rode it to the 250 East crown in both 2019 and 2020. Now it's time for this latest racing evolution, the 2022 CRF250R. Let's do a deep dive on the technical details.
Every motocrosser wants to ride to his or her potential. To help you find your edge, Honda engineers focused on improving engine performance, increasing toughness, and cutting weight. Those were each ambitious goals, even more so when combined. But Honda has never shied away from a challenge. Let's start with the engine. Again, the objective was improved power, especially in the low RPM range that's so vital for quick acceleration out of corners and on short approaches to jumps. But of course, usable top-end power and good reliability are also important. Some of you will remember that the 2021 CRF450R received significant improvements to the intake system. Those features have now been carried over to this new CRF250R to improve torque by providing a cool, efficient flow of air to the engine. For example, the airbox is now 78% larger on the clean side of the filter, and the fuel injector now has a shallower angle, 60 degrees instead of 30. The new airbox also simplifies servicing of the air filter, which is now held in place by a spring-loaded clip. Maximizing timing accuracy results in reduced friction and therefore improved reliability at high RPM. Engineers achieved this by redesigning the cylinder head with a more rigid camshaft holder, and by changing the intake camshaft sprocket to a press-fit design, which is lighter as well. Durability was further enhanced by increasing oil flow to the cylinder head and the camshaft, the latter by 80%. To achieve precise valve action, the rocker arm shaft was redesigned for better alignment, and the titanium intake valves now feature dual springs of differing rates, one inside the other. Further contributing to improved reliability, the piston, connecting rod, and rocker arms have also been modified with new shapes, and the water pump gear is now thicker. Of course, engine power is great, but it's not much help if you can't get it to the rear wheel. That's why Honda redesigned the clutch assembly, which now has a stronger, more rigid basket and 9 discs instead of 8. Lubrication has been optimized as well, contributing to a 21% improvement in clutch endurance. Feel is enhanced, and lever pull is 4% lighter. If you've ridden a 250 motocrosser, you know that the change between second and third gears, both upshifting and downshifting, happens many times per lap. Honda redesigned the transmission on the CRF250R for reduced friction and improved feel on that particular gear change, which is now accomplished with just one shift fork instead of 2. In addition, The shift drum is now 17% lighter, and the gear ratios were updated as well. In addition, there's now a single exhaust with one straight exhaust port, improving torque. The CRF250R is famous for its excellent handling, so engineers knew making improvements there wouldn't be easy. That said, reducing vehicle weight almost always helps in that area, hence that third design goal I mentioned earlier. At 229 pounds with a full tank and ready to ride, the 2022 CRF250R is an impressive 8 pounds lighter than its predecessor, which means less weight to manage around corners, over jumps, through the whoops, and everywhere else. Part of that's down to the all-new aluminum frame, which is 1.5 pounds lighter for 2022, while the subframe is 0.7 pounds lighter. The changes go beyond cutting weight. In chassis design, longitudinal rigidity is important for straight-line stability on the track. But in order to feel tire traction in corners, it's important to have optimum lateral flex. That's why the new 250's main frame spars now have smaller cross-sections that reduce lateral rigidity by 20%, drawing heavily from the CRF450R. For the same reason, the triple clamps have been redesigned, with updated reinforcement ribs that enhance the flex characteristics. Meanwhile, the fork is still a 49mm Showa coil spring design. Out back, the new swing arm also has rebalanced rigidity. The ProLink suspension system has revised ratios, and the Showa shock has an ultralight spring, almost a quarter-pound down on its predecessor. As before, black DID rims deliver durable performance and good looks, while new Pirelli Scorpion MX32 tires offer excellent traction in soft to intermediate terrain, and an appropriate amount of sidewall flex for a 250 motocrosser. Wrapping it all up is new bodywork matching the CRF450R, but there's more to that than good looks. The radiator shrouds were designed using computational fluid dynamics and have vents that help draw hot air away from the radiators. The radiator grills were also redesigned, with the number and angle of the fins optimized to improve cooling. The side panels also have a new shape to give the bike a narrower cross-section, so the rider can more easily adjust body position when cornering, accelerating, jumping, and braking. And the benefits extend to the garage, as the main bodywork components, radiator shrouds, side panels, and seat can all be removed with just 8 fasteners, all of which have 8mm heads.
That's an impressive list of updates. And the good news is those changes were carried over to this. The 2022 CRF250RX, Honda's closed-course off-road bike. The current CRF250RX earned the 2020 NGPC Pro 250 title with SLR Honda's Talon LaFontaine, and JCR Honda's Tara Geiger took the 2019 NGPC Pro Women's crown. Compared to the CRF250R, the RX gets specialized components, including a larger plastic fuel tank, handguards, an 18-inch rear wheel, an aluminum side stand, and dedicated ECU and suspension settings. Clearly, 250-class motocross and off-road racers have plenty to celebrate, but the benefits of riding red don't end with these updates to the CRF250R and RX. To help CRF riders at all skill levels, from the Lawrence brothers to amateur motocrosser Hunter Yoder to weekend warriors, Honda's Red Rider Rewards Racing Contingency Program supports Honda racers with more than $6 million available at over 1,500 professional and amateur events across a number of disciplines. In addition, Honda partners offer Red Rider trackside support at races from coast to coast. I hope this overview of the 2022 CRF250R and 250RX has been helpful, and that you're excited to give them a try for yourself. They're scheduled to hit showrooms soon. For more information, check out the Honda Powersports website or visit your local Honda dealer. Thanks again for tuning in, and remember to ride red.